everybody, Angie B. Hope you're having a grand day / weekend / happy belated birthday, Leah. Sorry that I kind of technically missed your birthday, although I did get your present posted like an hour after the fact, so in the greater scheme of things, it wasn't that much of a belated present, but anyway. Today's vlog topic is going to be the Lito, because a couple of you have expressed some interest in hearing me natter on more about the Lito, which honestly I don't know why that is, since it seems like all I ever talk about is the Lito, and I'm sure that you guys are probably pretty tired of hearing about it, but anyway, I'm nothing if not self-promotional, and I love talking about my projects and my writing and my ridiculousness, so here's a vlog about the Lito. For those of you who are not in the know, which, if you're not in the know, I don't know how you know about this vlog or why you're watching it, but the Lito is my Greek gods in modern times retelling that I've been working on for over a year now. It came about because of that meme that was going around on LiveJournal where you create a new TV show. And Megan, aka Zombie Boogie, gave me the prompt, Greek gods in modern times, and I just kind of went crazy with it. Not only did I do a casting pick spam, but I promptly started writing mythfics for it, and now I'm doing graphics for it, and now there's a Tumblr devoted to it, and like other people have made fan mixes for it and graphics, and I'm kind of surprised that it's been as successful as it has been, because I think that I'm kind of ridiculous and that I take things to too far of extremes at times, but I'm just really gratified that a lot of you seem to be enjoying it, and that you give me really great comments on the fics, and that you follow me on Tumblr, and that you make pretty things for me, because I really appreciate it. So thank you to all the Lito fangirls out there. That's how the Lito came about. Just a couple of questions that I've been given before that I thought I would address. My favorite couples to write about. It's difficult to answer this because when I'm actually writing a fic about a couple, I really try to get into their headspaces, and I really enjoy writing about all the couples. But I think my two favorites definitely have to be Dionysus and Ariadne, because one, I just really love writing Dionysus, Big D, Steve, because he's just snarky and hilarious and sexy, and he's Robert Downey Jr., so how can I not enjoy writing about him? And I like Ariadne because she's fierce and doesn't take bullshit from anyone, and she's one of the few people that can put D into his place and, you know, keep him in check. And I just really like writing their dynamic because it's really sexy and flirtatious and snarky and amazing. My other favorite couple to write has to be Hephaestus and Hestia, just because I've always thought that they were a really great match, just in terms of their powers and how they're kind of overlooked or belittled by the other gods, and I've always wanted them to get together. Like, I can remember reading the original the original myths back in the day when I was like, 8 and 9, and I was really into mythology. And I just remember thinking, why aren't Hephaestus and Hestia together? Because they're both fire gods, and they both cover really important aspects of daily life. I mean, you've got god of the forge and blacksmiths, and then you've got the goddess of the hearth, so I just thought that they were a really good match. And I really like writing their dynamic because Hephaestus has this potential to be really fiery and powerful, but he's often been kind of just thrown into the shadows and ignored. And then you have Hestia, who's trying to assert herself and be bigger and stronger than she was. And I just really like how they play off of each other because they're both very sweet and humble and very hard workers, and I just really like that dynamic. The World War II backstory. I've been hinting at this for months, and I do intend to write it someday. It'll probably be another series of mythfics because I seem to not be able to just sit down and write big, huge chunks of stories these days. But the World War II backstory I've been alluding to has to do with why the gods came down from Olympus, why they've been living on Earth, why the Lito was created, and why they signed that pact that I keep referring to. And it will have a lot to do with World War II. It will be set primarily in Paris and London and Germany. There will be appearances by like Hitler and Nazis and Churchill, and it promises to be amazing if I can actually get all of my ideas that are in my head out onto paper in a logical, interesting manner, which isn't always a given, but I do promise to try my best with that. It probably won't be incredibly historically accurate just because I can't make myself sit down and do extensive research on this at this point because I'll just waste too much time trying to be super authentic and realistic and historically accurate, and that's not really productive. I mean, I've got to actually make headway in my writing, and if I just keep getting bogged down with research, it won't happen. But I'll try to get some of the basic facts right, big things, dates, big people, things like that. But I will give you a little bit of a hint about some of the events that will take place. A lot of it will have to do with Ares causing shit with Hitler. Poseidon and Zeus finally coming to terms and trying to make an alliance. The other gods finally letting Hades come up from the underworld and help them out with the cause. Aphrodite may or may not be playing a double agent, or is she a double agent? So she'll be a very femme fatale type, romancing everybody, and I have a lot of hopes for it, and I hope it'll be good. But basically, what you need to know is my cast in 1940s clothes and being awesome and snarky with Churchill and Hitler and stuff, so it'll be good. Most unexpectedly fun characters to write. I'm really quite surprised by how much I enjoy writing Aphrodite, because I've always thought of Aphrodite as like the biggest bitch ever. I really don't like a lot of her stories. I just felt like she was too shallow and vapid and just was always causing shit for no real good reason. But I really enjoy writing her because getting in her headspace, I mean, she's very flawed, and I love writing flawed characters because there's so much to work with, and so much potential for angst and character development and epiphanies, and I really like writing her, especially now that she's trying to better herself and become less of the catty, shallow, vapid person that she was. And so now that she's with Poseidon, I really enjoy writing her, and I like getting in her headspace. I also really like writing Hedone. I didn't expect that, because, I mean, there's very little that's ever really referenced about Hedone. She doesn't really have a very big role in a lot of the myths. But I really enjoy writing her because it's just fun playing with a character who's supposed to embody something, who's rejected it completely and become the opposite. She's the daughter of the god of love and Psyche. And she's supposed to be the goddess of, like, delight and, voluptuous delight. But I like writing her as a cynic who kind of hates love and doesn't trust people and is very sarcastic. It's just a lot of fun to write her that way. I also really like writing Persephone. I had a really hard time getting in her headspace just because she has to be innocent and a little naive, but I didn't want her to come across as a Mary Sue or too much of a child. But I really like writing her just because she's very fresh and sweet, and it's nice to write someone who's just genuinely sweet without any ulterior motives or issues. I just really like writing her. The fic that I've had the most trouble writing, obviously, was So I Stayed in the Darkness with You, which is the Hades Persephone backstory. It took me like 3 months to write, and in large part that's because I started it right before NaNoWriMo, and then I had to put it on hold for a month. And by the time I came back to it, I had totally lost the plot, and I didn't know what to do. And I kept writing it as like Beauty and the Beast, and I didn't want it to be Beauty and the Beast. I wanted it to have its own feel. I hope I succeeded with that. But I had a hard time writing that just because, as I said, I had a hard time getting into Persephone's mindset. But I really love the Hades Persephone love story. Yes, in the myths, it started with a rape, and Hades was kind of an asshole dick, and it didn't have a lot of redeeming qualities, and Persephone was very much the victim. But I think at the heart of it, it's very much the story of two complete opposites coming together and working past a lot of issues to come to terms with one another. And, I mean, that sort of story is at the heart of most of my favorite stories. I mean, I love it when you have a story where two people that are completely different, that have a lot of baggage on their own, terms, try to get over all of that and learn to love each other. I mean, you got Beauty and the Beast, you've got, Much Ado About Nothing, Benedict and Beatrice. I really love that story, and so I tried to, do it right when I did the Hades Persephone piece. And I think that I succeeded in large part. There are definitely sections I would try to change if I could, but I just got really burnt out with it by the end. I hope that everyone really liked the end result, though. My favorite story that I've written so far would probably be the 3 Trials of Psyche, or any of the Hestia pieces, like especially Eye of the Beholder, which is the one where there's the big party and like everybody at the Lito's in it. Dionysus and Ariadne get their little moments, Psyche and Eros get their moment, Persephone and Hades get their moment. I really like writing the ensemble pieces because then you get to have all of your characters, and I love how they play off of each other and the rivalries and the backstory. I mean, everyone has history with each other, and I really like writing Hephaestus and Hestia pieces because they are one of my favorite couples, and I really like the potential there to tell a lot of different kinds of stories with them. And I love the Three Trials of Psyche because I got to have both the modern and the classical story issues. I got to be a lot more flowery and I wouldn't say like overdone or dramatic, but I definitely got to be more poetic with it, like just in terms of the language that I used. And I really like the part where Psyche is talking to the Tower of the Dead. I just thought that I was really proud of that scene. Like, that was one of my favorites that I've written so far. It just came out really well. Let's see here. That kind of leads into my modern stories versus the backstories. I really like writing both. I really like writing the modern updates when it's, contemporary times and they're riding around in Porsches and flying jets and stuff, because I like showing how those characters are timeless, how you can transport classic mythological characters to modern times without losing the integrity of the character, because for me, the Greek gods were so very human to begin with, and it's a lot of fun to just show them how even when they're in Romani suits, they're still the same characters, and they still have the same flaws and the same powers and everything. And I liked writing all of their, new professions, how they would change their, funnel their energies into new areas that would kind of mirror their old functions as gods. I also really like writing the backstories when it's more mythological times, just because then again I get to use a different set of language, different descriptions, different kind of storytelling than I would with the modern updated stories. But basically that's all I've got to say right now about the Lito. I mean, I could probably do a bajillion more vlogs about the Lito. If you had specific questions, if you wanted to ask about particular characters, if you wanted to request specific kinds of stories, you can always let me know. I'm always looking for more prompts or inspirations or whatever. I can't promise that I'll get to all of them because I never get to all of my prompts, and I apologize for being such a shitty prompt filler, but I do my best, and I hope that you guys enjoy the Lito and that you'll keep reading. And thank you so much to all the Lito fangirls who have helped me, push forward. Without your guys' support and flailing and excitement, I probably would have lost steam on this project a long time ago. And I do plan on trying to get this published someday. I don't know if I'll try as a short story collection or if I'll try to send out, individual stories or whatever, but I would like to try to get this published because it does mean a lot to me and I do really enjoy writing them. So that's my vlog about the Lito. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.